An important 2 points for the Orange and Blue as they keep pace with the Golden Knights. And, of course, the Ducks winning doesn't help, but they're right there with Anaheim as well in the Pacific Division playoff race. Hey, everybody, welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream Postgame Show. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Joaquin, Gage, and Benny Thomson. Of course, the Postgame Show brought to you by our good friends over at GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Let us know your thoughts about tonight's Oilers victory via the text line 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat over on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it so very much. The Oilers now 33-26 and 9 on the season. A solid victory, a costly victory, as Leon Draisaitl did not finish this game, played the first period, got hit by Ozzy Weisblatt. The Oilers went after Weisblatt a lot after that, and then Draisaitl did come back briefly, but did not finish the game. So that is indeed concerning, but the more important thing is they got a couple points. We'll see what the extent of the injury is. Hopefully Chris Knobloch has some details about the injury in his post-game availability tonight. And if we get any information, we'll pass that along your way. Reid Wilkins down at the rink. He will work the room, and maybe he'll get an update and send it our way as well. Let's bring in the boys. We got Gage standing by. We got Benny Thomson back at EST Global HQ. Well, gentlemen, 3-1 the victory. I mentioned the Draisaitl injury. A lot of people I saw in the nasty chat, or some people saying, hey, that was a playoff-style win. Joaquin, how would you describe that game and that victory for the Oil?
In one word, Tommy, maybe mature. I think that's what I said before the game. That's what they needed, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone pulling on the same chain, making sacrifices, a couple pucks to the head for a few guys, a few zippers, definitely for Murph there. But hey, that's sometimes that's what it takes, right? Getting in the way. Mm-hmm. And you know, the maturity of it, the reason why I say mature is because of kind of the play with Weisblatt. That can take a team, like, you like to have those guys on your team because they disrupt, right? And the Oilers were in kind of get revenge mode in that first period, but that's when you see a mature team. Okay, when he has the puck and you get a chance, you lay a beating on him. Mm-hmm. And I loved what the Edmonton Oilers did. They kind of eliminated him in that second period where you didn't notice him. He wasn't running around as much. They policed themselves, so to speak. Back in, you know, in my day, it was a little bit different. You would have gotten a few flybys of the bench and saying, tell that guy to settle down, or I'm going to make sure that you're going to sit in the dentist chair for 8 hours tomorrow, right? So, but they got it done. They were focused, and Connor McDavid picking up the slack and had a monster game. 3 assists, in on every goal. Yep. And but player of the game, I got to go to the crease, man. Ingram's hot right now.
Really solid once again. Really solid. A couple of posts tonight. That one goal, the Svechkov goal, that one, I don't know how it got through. It did, and it was kind of fluttered. Obviously, it hit something, and he kind of waved at it, but it beat him. And it looked like it barely went in on the one replay. I was like, how did that actually go in or go post? But obviously, it did beat Ingram and was as close as the Nashville Predators would get on this night. Benny Thomson, what stood out to you about the Oilers win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very similar game to the Blues one that we saw on Friday night, but it just felt like it came out the way that you were hoping that game would, or the one in St. Louis would. It was just a game where it's just Oilers took their chances, but I thought they were really good in their own end tonight. Like there were some really good sticks in lanes. They were physical. The penalty kill tonight. I don't have the exact stats with me. I don't know if you mentioned it, but perfect, I believe, tonight. So 4 for 4. I mean, they were. The 3 penalties that the Oilers took in the first period. they were penalties that I didn't have a problem with them taking because they're sticking up for a leader that went down after a clean hit, but one where he takes a run at a guy, right? And, when you want them to take those penalties knowing that you have the confidence in your penalty kill to back you up and to get you out of it, and that's exactly what the penalty kill did. So good on them for that. We talked about it on Hello Hockey yesterday, and we alluded a little bit to it on the pregame show. Toronto, take notes on what happened in that first period today. To me, like that is exactly you see your star player go down, dealing with some type of lower body injury. It seems like, and it was a clean play, but didn't matter. You go, you take out a guy. Pot Colson fikes Hag. Frederick's chasing a Weisblatt. Wallman lays him out in that second period. Blew him up there. It was honestly like. Not a whole lot of complaints for me. It was a very sound, smart defensive game that the Oilers played. They looked like the better team tonight. They deserved the win, and keeping it low scoring too, I think only benefits them with this with how they've been playing lately. So I got nothing to complain about here really for this Oilers win. It's going.
That Weisblatt, he stuck up for himself too. Yep. He's a tough cookie. I don't think he's the tallest guy, but he looks like he's thick, and he'll stick up for himself. He'll get at you. And that was a pretty solid hit he put on Leon Draisaitl. And like you guys mentioned, the Oilers took their shots at him and he stood his ground. But at the end of the day, what matters most is the victory. How concerning, Joaquin, is it that Draisaitl came back after going down the tunnel, played I think a couple of shifts or a shift at least, and then did not finish the game, didn't come out for the second period, and that was it?
I don't think too concerning, Tommy. I think when you look at the hit, it looked like almost he wasn't expecting it, right? So something jarred, some lower body bit. He did come out and took what seemed like equal strides on both legs. I think it was nagging him, and they're like, why? Right? Why we should have enough here to get past the Nashville Predators and next guy up mentality, which is great. But I think it was just Leon. I'm not saying Leon wasn't hurt, but I'm assuming, I guess it's more precautionary than anything else at this point.
Hopefully.
It's you scored a goal. We got this. Go hit the showers, kid.
Benny had that 3-point night for Draisaitl on the Play Alberta. Yeah, and then the other thing too is that Sweet Life parlay that I think Dusty did with YouTube Trev. They were in the Play Alberta Sweet, pardon me. That one would have hit if we had 6 goals tonight.
Yeah.
Murphy had more than 2 block shots, took that last one off the face, and that was the end of his night. We had a Bouchard assist. We had a Draisaitl point. And then what else had to hit on that one? Ekholm +1.
Yes.
And then if they had 6+ goals in the game, it was like, what was it? Plus like 2,400.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah. I think I put down $5. If I won, it would have been like 160. I was like, oh man, this might actually happen, but they couldn't score. Low scoring affair. Is that a good sign though, regardless of who put money on what tonight?
I think it's just the time of the year, boys. This is everything gets the amount of room on the ice. There wasn't a lot out there. I was actually quite impressed with the way that the Nashville Predators played tonight. They play the full 60. Good goaltending, physical. They hit a few posts. This stat on Ingram that the only goals that he allows are pucks that go posting in are hilarious here. But no, I mean, I was you can nitpick little things. I thought there was a few times in the third chances to get it out, trying to go long with a bank pass. It's hemmed in. They get a chance. That's when you really have to bear down, right? Those are the times you don't want to give up that last goal to tie it up with kind of an errant play when you could have taken 2 more steps and made sure. Right. Instead of 60%, make it 80 to 90% that puck is getting outside that blue line.
I think it was a line you slipped in on Friday night where you're like, posts I counted as saves.
Yeah,
I know. I thought that was funny.
That was a great save on Stamkos at the end there.
Yes, we'll give it to him. All that matters is he gets the win. He made some big saves, some just very solid and very. He has that casual demeanor, very calm. I know, Joaquin, you've talked a lot about it. Maybe it provides some confidence to the group in front of him, and whatever he's doing, it's working. So hopefully that continues if you're an Oilers fan. And Conor Ingram's likely, he's pretty much declared the starter for the rest of the year by Chris Knoblauch prior to tonight's game. All right, let's dive into the inbox. 780-218-9999. The Oilers 3-1 winners over the Nashville Predators. An important 2 points tonight. The Preds, they're no slouch. I know they had some struggles in the last 10, but they had been closing in on a playoff spot. They were 3 points out of the final wildcard spot in the West heading into action tonight. And they're in a dogfight to try to sneak in. But the Oilers get the job done. Let's go into the inbox. Start with, I don't want to do that one. Let's go to Randy. Hello, Randy. Randy says, Tommy, I was at the game tonight. If Nashville had the same urgency on their 3 or 4 back-to-back power plays as they did 6-on-5, might have been a different outcome. And, of course, an inch difference between Stamkos one-timer off the post and Hyman empty net goal. Good game to watch, Randy, with that one. Hope you had fun there, Randy. Appreciate the text as always. Good to hear from you, like I mentioned. Coach Mike says, I really like Savoie's game right now. He understands the assignment when playing with 97. Hopefully Draisaitl's injury isn't serious. And I'm glad Coach Mike brought up Matt Savoie because he picked up another goal tonight. He looks like he fits right in the top 6. Yeah, I talked about it last week or earlier this week about how much I was appreciating Savoie's play and the results he's been getting and how he looks comfortable. Joaquin, when you watch this rookie, like what are you noticing more and more about him as the season progresses?
He seems to be getting better as the weeks go by. Tommy. Like there's different areas of his game that I keep going, oh, he can do that too. Like great goal. Just to have the patience, get it up high. That's a skilled goal by a skilled player that's put a few behind goaltenders over the course of his career at every level, right? The one, I believe it was the third period, he gets in on the forecheck and just dog on a bone and disrupting a Norris caliber defenseman and eventually getting the puck from him, as in Roman Josi there, right? He's a guy that, again, like I've said, I think he's turned that corner that realizes he's an NHLer now. And no better time to do that, guys, when you have a minute muncher, a guy that takes up a lot of ice time with Leon Draisaitl. This is the opportunity for you to get in there and show the coaching staff that, hey, this is another arrow in the quiver that you can use, gaining that trust to be put in different situations. Oh, maybe things are getting a little stale on that top line. You inject a Matt Savoie in there that's going to go like a bat out of hell everywhere. That's going to get everyone going. And you even heard Louis tonight say, it's weird to say, but he's actually kind of adding a little bit more speed to the McDavid line, which you do not hear very often.
No. Benny, I would ask you about Matt Savoie, but you would just say he's your best friend. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I mean, it's pretty cool to see. And yeah, like you were saying there, Gager, his goal, obviously he's fast, but I think he has that extra step over a couple guys. And even on that play there, I don't know if an average speed NHLer would get himself in that position to catch up to McDavid on that 201. Obviously, Connor's, waiting for him to catch up and he slows down. But, he had a back checker right on him and he beats him to the net there and allows himself to get that grade A scoring chance and obviously buries it. He, as a rookie, surprised me with how good he was defensively. Obviously, I think that his time in Bakersfield came out very good for him in his own end because he's been thrown on the PK, and when he's playing in a bottom 6 role, you want your coach to have trust in you. And if you're playing a bottom 6 role, he's not throwing you out there to go score goals. He wants you to play defense and be sound in your own end. And so he started off with that. And now I think now that he's allowing, or I'm talking about Knobloch, allowing Savoie to play top line minutes, he's allowing him to grow his offensive game as well. And obviously playing with the best player in the world helps that a ton too. So I mean, it's nice to see he's taking steps, like Gage was saying. It seems like every week. I'm excited to see what he does. Hopefully we'll see come playoff time. But I mean, right now, let's say Draisaitl plays next game. I thought the top three all lines, I should say, were great today. I thought the Dickinson, Rostovic, Nuge line had some good looks and looked solid. So. Yeah, I mean, it allows the Oilers to spread out some of their top end guys, and if Savoie can plug in and play on that top line with Hyman, McDavid, and have looks like he did tonight, I think the Oilers are better off with it.
A lot of love for Savoie in the nasty chat and on the text line 780-218-9999. Sean chiming in 3 takeaways, says 1 cheap shot at the end of the fight. Did you guys catch that from Heg? On Pod Colson, he threw that last punch in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I saw it, but nothing really came of it. Pod Colson had his back, says Sean. It turned, and Buddy threw a punch. Yep. Sean also says, 2, Pods is spelled dog. And number 3, Savoie is him. He got game. Thank you, Sean, for the text. Appreciate that. Let's go to EMG. EMG says, Ingram is doing great. What do you think the plan is for Jari to help manage Ingram's load, but also get Jari back on track for playoffs as a backup? And we briefly touched on it in the pregame show, Joaquin, but what would you say to EMG's text there?
There's not a lot of runway to get guys' games back, and the games mean too much. Like I said before, it's tough to take one of your best players out of the lineup right now. I don't, man. I know that it's like everyone looks at, how are they going to deploy their goaltenders? You play your best guy. The best goalies in the league play back-to-back games. Like they have a heavy workload. And what happens when you start doing that, you start to get into a rhythm, man. And I think it would be dangerous for the team to start trying to get Tristan Jarry's game back at this point. He's going to get some games down the road, and it's up to him to find it. It's not up to everyone else to cater to this guy and help him along. Of course, they want him to do well, but they have to win games, and they have to do it now. And I mean, we've watched Conor Ingram now for the last 3 months. He is a really, really high caliber goaltender. I've always said it's not the sexiest thing, and maybe it doesn't look like the best, but when you're stopping, I'm not sure how many shots were tonight, but I guarantee 20 of them hit him in the Oilers crest, right? When they're hitting you in the crest all the time, and these are NHL guys, you're doing something right. And that builds a ton of confidence as a goaltender. It might surprise you. We don't like to throw out kick saves, pad stacks, and windmill gloves. Like, we'd rather just, take him like a second baseman and trap it like that. And his rebound control is arguably some of the best in the league. Some of the best I've seen from an Oilers goaltender in a long, long time. Yeah.
27 saves for Ingram on the night, and more importantly, picks up a victory for the Orange and Blue. Shots on goal tonight were 30-28 in favor of Edmonton. The Oilers did win the face-off battle, 57.7% to 42.3. Edmonton 1 for 4 on the power play, 4 for 4, like Benny brought up, on the PK, which is good to see. They had dropped to 27th on the PK in the NHL, boys. That's something that really needs to improve. We've been saying that for, a month and a half at least. It did peak at 10th. I think 2 months ago, and then it just fell off the cliff. Hits 26 to 12 in favor of Edmonton. Giveaways 18-15. Nashville with 18. The Oil with 15. And then officially 5 takeaways for the Preds to Edmonton's 4. All right, let's go back into the inbox. You got Tom Gazzola, you got Joaquin Gage, and you have Benny Thomson with you. Ontario Mom says, I love how cutthroat Knobloch is being with his goaltending. This will put an end to a bunch of questions. He's made a definitive call, something most coaches won't say. Yes, I think it got to that point. And then real quick, I've got an update on Leon Draisaitl from Reid Wilkins. And Reid texting in saying, Knobloch says no update on Leon. Sure. Hasn't talked to the medical staff. Benny, did you want to jump in with something?
Yeah, just on the Ingram deployment topic. So guys, what's the average, starting goalie in the NHL? How many games do they play in a year?
It's like 60. 60
probably, right? High 50s maybe. Ingram has played a total of 31 games this year, if you're including his AHL games. Like he has a little bit more runway here than a regular starting goalie. So I think the Oilers should probably take that to their advantage. And like Gage was saying, you play your best goalie many times you can. And I know some teams have kind of gone away from that. They like splitting it, but with what you have in Tristan Jarry, you got to feed them the bottom end teams, and then everything that's not a bottom end team, you give to Conor Ingram. To me, I think there's a lot of life here left with Conor Ingram for the rest of the season because he's only played 31 games. To me, I don't have any worries about the distribution for him, just mainly because he's only started 31 games.
Look at it this way: if a guy's scoring like 2 goals a game, I know it's a weird comparison, but you're not going to take him out to say, "Oh, he might need some rest here, rest some of those goals." You're going to keep this thing going. Ride him till she bucks you. That's what I think you should do with Ingram. He should play until there's visible signs that maybe he needs a break right now. I think anyway. Get into the back-to-backs, I can see maybe giving him a night off on the first leg, or depending on who you play, I guess. But yeah, man, he's giving you such a good chance to win hockey games.
Yeah, like Benny was saying, that was the 32nd game he has played this year. Oh. Or no, 33rd. Because he played for Bakersfield for 11.
Yeah.
And that was his 22nd appearance.
Oh, okay.
In the NHL this season, I believe so. Just double checking here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we're in the right ballpark there, Benny, for sure.
You know what? How many years after Stuart Skinner, that was the kind of the narrative going into the summer after his first really good season where he was an all-star is like, how can you monitor his minutes? How can you alleviate the workload for him and get him into that sweet spot of maybe 45 to 55 games? Like, if you really look at it, what's Ingram looking at? Maybe 45 games. That's perfect. Mm-hmm. It's a perfect number going into the play. And the fact that you're playing every second, third night too. You're just you get rolling, guys. It's one of the best feelings you have as a goaltender. Everything slows down. You see everything. Your movement's easy. Your equipment feels good. Everything you drink tastes a little bit better. It's amazing.
32nd game of the year for Ingram. Benny, that's what you said?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, the site I was using has it updated, and then I was going back to the game notes. So 32nd game, he should have a lot of energy and be good to go. And Chris Knobloch has said he will likely be riding Ingram. The best guy, the guy that gives him the best chance to win, will continue to play, and that's obviously Conor Ingram right now. Okay, Reid with another text from the locker room, or the Hall of Fame room, says, now Knobloch says there might be some time off, but it shouldn't be long in regard to Leon Draisaitl. Interpret that how you will whenever Knobloch has an assessment when it comes to injury.
Do we have to times by 3 on this one?
I don't. You just hope for the best. And Leon, we've seen he's a beast, so takes a lot to keep him out of action when it comes to injuries. And we've seen him play through injuries. Had some tough ones too. Was it the high ankle sprain against LA a few years ago?
Yeah, Mikey Anderson gave him the slip foot.
Yeah, one of the greatest performances in the playoffs we've seen.
He's
one leg, and he was consistently putting up points. It was crazy.
that series, I tell you what, that was a lot of fun to cover the Oilers Flames series. And you're right. Like McDavid was a beast. Draisaitl on one ankle was a beast. A lot of fun covering that. All right, let's go back into the inbox. 780-218-9999. Vincenzo says the Grim Reaper was Grim Keeper, was solid tonight. I thought this was one of Jake Wallman's better games of the year. Let's hope this can put together some wins, or can start to put together some wins. Absolutely. Defensively, guys, I mean, it's that time of year where you need to see them buckle it down. And now, I mean, I'm saying this a little bit in jest, but the under has hit a couple times in the last few games. A good sign?
Definitely. I think this was leading it after the Olympic break and up to the trade deadline. I mean, we were talking about it. Everyone else was talking about it. And I'm almost positive that the coaching staff and the players were talking about it, is we need to shore up this defense.
Yeah.
You know, and new guys come in, they still kind of figuring everything out. But out of the last 5 games, they've looked, there's been a hiccup, but there's been some really good defensive play where it hasn't been a tire fire. You know, it didn't, you weren't leaking huge chances against. Nashville had to work for everything they got tonight, and that's a really good sign. And I just wanted to add about Wallman. Like, yeah, this was a better game from him for sure. The one thing I would say that I've been trying to figure out, what's the difference between Wallman this year and the Wallman that we saw last year. It seemed like as soon as he got the puck when he was traded here, he was going, like his feet were moving. Right now, it seems like there's a little bit of disconnect. As soon as he gets that puck, it seems like he goes into the tripod and stops moving. Now, it didn't help in all tons tonight, but I noticed it at certain points when he could have just got on his horse a little bit with the puck, even before he's looking for someone to pass to, right? So, but in the third period, there was a couple times where he got going right away, and it was quickly out of the zone. So maybe it's just maybe that's just a confidence thing, that he feels a little bit better with the puck and not having to try to make that perfect play each time, right?
Let's go to the inbox again. Nolan from St. Albert texting in, says Ingram, the best goalie that the Oilers have had since Mike Smith. He's been good, although there were some good stretches for Stu Skinner, especially in his early time as a full-time Oiler. And then Nolan from St. Albert adding, Knobloch's BS meter is so high, take whatever he says and add a month. Yeah. Hopefully it's not that bad. Fumingo texting in, says, I love Savoie's play lately, shortening the stick to receive a pass in flight. Chef's kiss, says Fumingo. Did he do that when you played hockey with him, Benny, or is that a new thing that he taught himself?
I mean, to be fair, I think when we were growing up, he didn't have to get the puck passed to him. He would just grab it and go. So I didn't really notice him doing that too much as a kid. He just had the puck on his stick the whole time. So yeah, I don't really remember him doing that. But it's a nice move, and he's added to his bag of tricks here.
Well, another one is, sorry, Joaquin. Did you see he flips over his stick on faceoffs and to make it his strong side, even though he's a righty, makes it like he's a lefty? Sorry, go ahead, Joaquin.
No, it was I was just going to say on that goal, on Savoie's goal, it was a nice little backhand stab by McDavid with to grab the puck, right, and throw it down. That was, I mean, most guys are just like trying to get it with their stick and it goes past. But yeah, these are elite guys.
I tried that reverse stick thing yesterday at the faceoff dot. It got snapped back on me. Shouldn't have tried it.
Yeah, no, my faceoffs weren't great either. Don't worry, Benny. It's all good. All right, the Oilers 3-1 winners over the Nashville Predators. An important 2 points. Really quickly, just because it is also important, out-of-town scores. And there was some action in the Pacific Division that we need to keep an eye on. Ottawa beat San Jose 7-4. So that's good, just keeping them behind the Oilers. And then Anaheim did beat Montreal 4-3. They are now at 77 points. That game, Toronto beats Mini, whatever that means, not much to people around here. And then the other one that does matter is Seattle 6-2 winners over Florida. We will see the Panthers coming up in a couple of games here in Edmonton. And then as of right now, Anaheim 77 points, leading the Pacific, 6-4 in their last 10. Vegas 76 points, 4-6 in the last 10. They've won their last 2 though. They're second, and then the Oilers third in the Pacific with 75 points. 5-4-1 in the last 10 are the Oil. Utah holding down the first wild card spot with 74 points. And then Seattle now in the second wild card spot with 71 points. They have 2 games in hand on Edmonton, so that's why this was an important win for the Oil. The San Jose Sharks, 70 points through 65 games, so they have 3 games in hand on the Oilers, and we'll be seeing them coming up soon. Actually, we'll be seeing them Tuesday, the Panthers Thursday, of course, that game against Tampa on Saturday, and then the following Tuesday, the Oil are in Utah, and then they go to Vegas for a quick 2-game road trip. Then they come home on Saturday the 28th to take on the Ducks. That's a 1:30 start. Interesting. And then they wrap up the month of March against the Seattle Kraken at home. 1:30 on a Saturday in March. What do you guys think of that, Joaquin?
Well, if I'm doing the game, Tommy, I like it.
Okay.
So, if I was playing, not so much.
Yeah. Creature of habit, right? The routine. Throw it out the window. Library Pat has a question for us. Says, should we be worried about Wallman and Murphy taking the pucks to the head/face? Any chance either will miss any time? Can't really afford that, especially with Emerson already hurt. Library Pat, go ahead. Whoever wants it.
There's a better chance of an asteroid hitting the Earth than keeping those two out of the game, I think. So let's. They would if that was the first period. I'm for sure they would have been back. Right, Murphy would have come back. He would have got stitched up or glued up and right back on the bench.
Even if it's something where they want to be extra cautious with it, you throw on a fishbowl to deal with it. Yeah,
it's kind of a badge of honor, guys.
It is. McAvoy's had a rocket for a good portion of this season. He has taken a lot to the jibs this season, which has been tough on him. That Wallman shot, from what I saw on the replay, it looked like it hit his visor. Like, I don't think it actually got in his face. I think he just hit his visor. So I think that's a little less scary versus Murphy, where you can see right away the cut right on his chin. But yeah, he's gonna get some zippers and probably be back next game, I'd imagine.
Those are brutal. Those pressure cuts too. Because they usually require like 2 sets of stitches, like some on the inside, and that because it just, especially on the chin, where there's not a lot of meat anyway. But there's like inside stitches, and then you get them on the outside. So
I've had inside stitches on my nose when it got sliced open. I know Strutty likes to make fun of me, but it was nasty. It was 3 on the inside, and then 9 on the outside, and it was like filleted.
Yeah.
And our equipment manager, Mr. H, Ron Harrison, he came into the locker room. We were in Spruce Grove, and the trainer takes the towel, which was like soaked in blood. It was a white towel that was like bright red now. And then Mr. H takes a look. He's like, let me see that, Tommy. And I'm like, and he goes, oh, and he almost passed out. It was so bad. But shout out to, I can't remember the name of the doctor, but she did a great job at
great plastic surgeon, Tommy. Did a great job.
It was at the Sturgeon Hospital. Yeah, we went out there. It was great. So anyway, those can be nasty. And then too, they're not clean cuts. They're like the skin like busts open. You know, so that's tough.
Hope no one's eating right now. So.
Yum. All right, let's take a look ahead to this upcoming week with Joaquin for a couple more minutes here. You can also text us, like I said, 780-218-9999. Nasty Chat continue doing its thing. A nice little Sunday in the Big E. The Oilers picking up the 3-1 victory. So it is San Jose Tuesday night, like I mentioned. Then we get to see the Florida Panthers, a rematch of the Stanley Cup Final the last couple of years. Panthers make their lone visit here on Thursday, and then this 4-game homestand wraps up Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Thank you, against the Tampa Bay Lightning. What do you expect from San Jose on Tuesday, Gager, and what do the Oilers have to do in that game to be successful once again?
I think you're going to see a lot of the same things that we saw in the Shark Tank a few weeks ago, right? A very tenacious team that doesn't really know any better. They've got some high-end skill. We all saw the Eklund goal that was amazing. Celebrini, say no more. and they get really good goaltending too. So this is it's another test, a little bit of redemption, but this is huge. This game could most likely end the Sharks from just threatening the Oilers, at least in this case, right? So it's a huge 2 points. You want to win this in 60, I would say. Don't even give them a point.
They could go up 7 points on San Jose if they win in regulation on Tuesday night.
That basically does it, I think, at that point. But you have to match their intensity, right? They are going to be flying. Like you want to snuff out any hope from them right off. Like have these types of games. I think playing against a young team like that will be really beneficial for the Oilers, because Sharks might try to do too much. We got to score. If the Oilers look a lot more comfortable playing in these 1-goal games, or even when they haven't scored yet, right? So, this is it'll be fun. Great game Tuesday.
Hey, if Eklund scored that goal on you, would he even be mad?
No, I think I held him as a child too. I played with his dad and
really
and my team in Sweden. Yeah, he's like a stand-up comedian. This guy, Christian Eklund, is his dad.
He tried reenacting the goal that Eklund made. Like
did he
on his Instagram? Yeah, he tried doing the same goal and he kept falling over and missing the puck. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I didn't know he was.
He was a gritty player. Not tons of skill, but he wasn't your typical Swede. Let's say he was in on everything. He was kind of a little bit of a rat too. Loved playing with him.
Those guys are annoying to play against. I usually like to have them on your team instead. That goal, like the way he got the contact on the puck and smacked it so hard in.
So hard shelf though.
Yeah.
Not just in the net.
And he's going down
in the T-bar, right? Yeah. It was right in the corner. That was amazing.
It was a thing of beauty if you haven't seen it. I don't know who hasn't seen it, but go look it up. The Eklund goal the other night against Boston. So nice. Gager, excellent stuff as always, my friend. Thank you for doing the shows tonight, and I look forward to seeing you in studio tomorrow.
Yeah, boys. See you tomorrow.
There's Joaquin Gage, our game analyst, helping us break down the Oilers' 3-1 victory over the Nashville Predators. Your 3 stars for tonight: Savoie, McDavid, and Ingram. You can see it on the side column there on screen. And what's funny is like a few times in the last month, I think it's been the 3 stars that are officially on the game sheet, Benny, which is what we use, is it not?
Yes.
Is different than what they put on the broadcast. So people are like, wait a sec, which ones are the right ones? It's like the ones on the NHL website are the real ones. So tonight, Savoie, McDavid, and Ingram are your stars. McDavid, 3-point night. Savoie, big goal. Ingram, 27 saves in the victory for the Orange and Blue. And speaking of that goaltender, we do have him and his post-game interview. You want to run that?
Scar on his head. You'll see here in the.
Let's see it.
Yeah, well, it's covered up. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
So here is Conor Ingram from the locker room tonight.
I felt good. I mean, it's almost the exact same game as we played in St. Louis too. It's just found a way to hold on to this one. So no, there's no line. That one felt good.
Chris said this morning that you're going to be in the starting role until something changes. Is that nice to have a little boost of confidence from your coach ahead of a game like this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, having your coach behind you is huge, but at the end of the day, my job never changes. I'm going to come in and be the same person I've been for the last 3 or 4 months. So it's exciting for me, but at the end of the day, my job, like I've said 1,000 times, it's just stopping pucks. So it's the same thing every day.
Conor, the last 2 games as a team, your last 4 starts, 3-0-1. The team has limited the amount of high danger chances going long stretch. Obviously, it makes your job easier, but at the same time, you're going stretches where you're not really seeing a lot of rubber. How's that?
Yeah, it's different. I think that's part of playing here is you're going to go through stretches of that, or there's been games where the second half of games you only see a couple pucks through the rest of the day. So it's different, and it's something that you have to learn. But at the end of the day, just stop the puck.
goalies always maybe notice and appreciate defensive plays from certain people. What would you say about Matt Savoie's game on the defensive side of it and the things you notice as a goalie?
I think it's been great. I mean, as a young kid, that's not really what you expect out of young guys, but obviously he's learned, and he's a smart kid that knows how to get it done. I mean, I think you can put him in any role, whether you want to put him on the top line or the fourth line to shut guys down. I think he's a guy that has the ability to do whatever you ask him to, and in today's day and age, I think that's a huge asset to have.
When you have a game like you had in St. Louis where you're in control, and then all of a sudden you're not, to replicate the next game out and succeed, right? What's that worth to a team? What's that do for a team confidence?
It's losing in overtime, not being in control. I mean, I don't think we trailed at any point in that game, but it's different. Like I was saying before, to be able to finish them off is huge, and I think that's what good teams do is you know how to win and you know how to finish games off like that, and I think that's a huge talent and skill to have, and something this group has. I mean, the success the last couple of years shows that, and that's something that comes with maturity and just being in the situation. So I think that's a great thing to have.
Your best year in Utah was when you were the starter and you got into a real rhythm. Obviously, every guy wants to play every second. Can you talk, what's the benefit as you get into that rhythm knowing you're the starter?
I think it's just the time in between them. You know, you have a tough day or a good day, you don't have time to think about it. I mean, we'll practice tomorrow and then right back at it, whether I'll play on, whether that be Tuesday or not. I mean, it's just the repetition of it, and you don't have time to think about it. It's just going out there and doing your job, and it all turns into such a jumble that you don't really separate between game to game. It's just kind of go out there and do your job no matter what.
There you go, Conor Ingram with the bandage right in the middle of his forehead from when he got run by Nathan McKinnon there. And I like that mindset. Just, doesn't matter what game it is. Don't think about it. Just go play. Yeah. Get the win. Play your best. Keep it simple. Task at hand. Keep it all in front of you. And that's what he's been doing. 27 saves tonight. And he gets the third star of the game, picking up his 10th victory of the season, as he improves to 10-6-2 on the year. All right, you can text us 780-218-9999. We do have Reid Wilkins coming up shortly for Reid's Reid. And then Sean texting in says Ingram's still wearing a Band-Aid on his forehead in the post-game scrum. Nice look. He should wear it for the rest of the season, like a good luck charm. I was like, going back to Nelly back in the day. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Nelly, but he had like a bandage under his one eye on his cheek. It was silly, but he did it. Yeah.
Well, however, whatever you got to do to stop the puck, I'm all for. If
sure.
And Conor Ingram, if that's what works for him, go ahead. It's hard to miss that Band-Aid on his forehead, but
it's right there.
It's a
like
good
right
war
here.
scar. Shows you you've taken a hit as a goalie. It's a badge of honor.
Badge of honor. All right. Battle wound, my friend. Battle wound. Let's go to the turning point of the game, presented by Say the Reid Sport Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Say the Reid Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.saythereidsportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. This one comes via the first star of the game. He picked up a very big goal, his 11th of the season, on a nice feed from Connor McDavid. Nice heads-up play by Matthias Ekholm to chip the puck out. McDavid and Savoie go in on a 2-on-1. I think McDavid waits patiently for Savoie to catch up. He's on his horse and then just buries it on Justus Anonen. That would be your turning point of the game at 2:32 of the second period. So I like that they added to their lead. Yes, kind of how they had that 2-goal lead in St. Louis, and then it slipped away. But tonight that wouldn't be the case. So Matt Savoie, he gets the turning point of the game. Brought to you by Say the Reid Sport Medicine. Book your assessment over at www.saythereidsportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. He is playing very good hockey as we head through the stretch drive. Betty Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, again, like we've beaten this drum all year, but it's louder now after the Olympic break. He's been So good for this team. Such a great find for them. I remember the day I saw him the day he got traded here.
No big deal.
I was out having some drinks with him that night, and he was very happy to be an Edmonton Oiler. I can tell you that. I'm stunned that they got the deal that they did. And I mean, of course, yes, Ryan McLeod has excelled over in Buffalo. But with that though, he's been given a better opportunity and a couple more years of growth. And he's fit in really well there in Buffalo. So good for him. But I mean, Matt Savoie on an ELC contract, good in his own end, and now starting to help out a little bit more offensively. Yeah, it was probably a good win-win trade for both sides that I think as time goes on, the Oilers will be reaping the benefits of it a little bit more as time goes on. But yeah, it's
well said.
Yeah, great deal for him.
All right, let's go back inside the Oilers locker room one more time. We're going to hear from Zack Hyman, and then on the other side of that, it will be Reid's Reid with Wilkie.
Opportunity to go the other night. When you're in that same spot the next game, is it something you guys are thinking about, talking about, and what do you think the difference was tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to put yourself in positions like these, the position to close out a game, because these are the positions you're going to be in the playoffs. Like we know that this is how you got to play. 2-1 games, 2-0 games, those are must-win games. You can't afford to blow leads like we did last time. Every point matters right now, so I think we just talked about limiting turnovers, gaining lines, just taking care of the puck.
When a guy like Leon goes down and you have to play 2 periods without him, how does that kind of reverberate around through the bench?
Well, I think you saw an emotional response, which is really good. Guys sticking up for Leo, one of the best players in the world. If guys want to take runs at him, there's going to be a response, obviously. And I was really happy just with the collective effort. And then obviously you want to win the game. Like you want to win the game for him. He scores the first one and then tries to come back. Wasn't able to, obviously. So missed him for sure, but big win.
Speaking of the response, it seems like your team has had a lot more fire the last few games. Is that something in the room you guys wanted to ratchet up in the last little stretch here?
Yeah, I think emotion's good. I think we're at a point in the season where we don't have a choice. We have to play well. We have to win games. We have to close games out. We have to play strong defensively, and I think we did all those things. So I thought it was a good team effort from our goalie all the way out.
Zach, it's 5 games. We're obviously excluding the Dallas game. It's 4 pretty solid efforts defensively. That was the area your team wanted to improve. You mentioned that's how you got to play, but what do you feel has been the difference that's led to your team being better defensively and lowering the chances against?
Well, I think we made some adjustments coming out of the break. The break was a good time to kind of evaluate how things have gone, and we had a week of practice, which we don't have any practice right now. It's kind of a crazy schedule. A week of practice to really dial in on the defensive side of the game and make the adjustments that we needed to make, and I think we're doing the things that we need to do out there. I think that we're limiting slot chances. I think that was kind of a big red flag for us, was just too many high danger chances in our own zone and then off the rush. So I think we're cleaning up that stuff, and we may spend a little bit more time in the D zone. I don't know what the numbers say, but it's not as high danger, so it helps the goalies out.
Savoie's been a good player for you guys all year, but recently, he's being given some time up on the top unit and stuff. What have you kind of seen from his game that's maybe allowed him to function at that level?
I think people forget how young he is. I think everybody expects, first-round pick to come in and just light it up right away. It takes time in this league to understand how to play in the league and to grow. I mean, it took. I was 24 when I came in, and it took me years to figure out, how to score at a high level and how to produce. And I think he's the guy who's got an unbelievable motor. He just goes. He skates as good as anyone in the league. And he can make plays. So he's a guy who's going to play in the top 6 for a long time. Just a phenomenal player, and only going to get better. He's still really young.
All right, there's Zack Hyman, who certainly figured it out pretty damn well, scoring his 28th goal of the year into the empty net, and he was also +2 tonight. What else did Hyman do? I had his stat line right here. 1951 time on ice, 5 shots on goal, and another good night for number 18 in orange and blue. All right, Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Let us know your thoughts about the Oilers' victory. We want to hear from you. And, of course, if you're watching, thank you. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you already haven't. And then let us know your thoughts in the nasty chat. Let's bring in Wilkie. Reid Wilkins standing by at his satellite studios. It's Reid's Reid, brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialist. Ewell has the gear that you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you can order online anytime at ewell.ca. Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. This guy is full of power and electricity. It's Reid Wilkins. Hey, I read your updates that you text me from Chris Knobloch. We haven't run his post-game availability. I don't know if we will. But can you tell us what the situation is with Leon Draisaitl?
Right. Well, Knobloch was asked about
Mike, get your good mic. There you go.
Is it on?
Yeah. Change it in Wirecast.
Yeah, in Wirecast, Reedick.
All right.
His suit looks really good. That looks like his new suit from Modern.
Yes.
Is it working now?
It is. Yes. And I coming through. Give me a thumbs up.
You're coming through, but it's your webcam mic.
Okay. Did you plug in here?
Probably switch it while I'm talking. Sorry, guys.
Okay, all good. Well,
I think that you can hear me well enough that I can start here while I change it.
Yes, you can start.
So he was asked about it at the beginning of the availability, and he just said no update. I haven't talked to the staff.
Okay.
To the training staff, which is a pretty common reply. And then Rashog circled back, and Knobloch went through. Well, he left the game and the training staff said he was okay to come back. And then Leon came back, and then he didn't think he could keep going. So he didn't continue in the game. And then that was it. And so we kind of are left with this, who made the call, and then he said it could be a while, not a while. He said it could be a short time, but not a long time. So I was left with that maybe he misses some time. Okay.
Okay.
Did the mic change? Because it says I'm using the right mic, by the way.
No.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't sound as nice as it usually does.
Well, I usually sound quite nice.
Oh,
so I don't know what to tell you.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Is that better?
That was better.
I guess I just wasn't close enough to it. All right.
Hey, there you are. You sound very nice.
All right. Maybe the volume is turned down or something too. Anyway, so that's pretty significant, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's story number one is how much time is Draisaitl going to miss, if any at all, but it sounded like maybe he would miss some. I think a second big story out of this game, and it's really continuing to be an emerging story for the team, is that Conor Ingram is giving them solid goaltending. Mm-hmm. I thought Joaquin put it very well with you on Friday, Tom, after the game, that he's maybe not spectacular, but it's like real NHL goaltending. He makes a lot of good saves. He doesn't really let in any leaky ones, and he gives the team a chance. And I think we're seeing this over and over again from Ingram. I mean, yes, he's had a couple of games that maybe got out of control, but for the most part, I mean, even the St. Louis comeback, it wasn't because he let in a soft goal. Mm-hmm. I mean, sure, you'd like him to make a save, but it's not like, oh, geez, they were doing fine, and then he deflated the team by letting in a bad goal. And I think you saw tonight just good goaltending, just steady. Nothing gets past him where it's like, oh, my God, how did that go in? And he makes some difficult saves. Yep. And I think he makes some difficult saves that snuff out plays that are maybe even more difficult than they look. You know what I mean? Like, he just takes away the angle. He's in position for a shot to hit him. He doesn't allow a big rebound. So that's really, really important, because if this team is going to keep the goals against down and kill penalties, which is a way to keep the goals against down, they're going to need good goaltending. And for the most part, like he's been giving them that almost ever since he came up from the minors. Again, the couple games where maybe he didn't play well, he's bounced back, or you could even say, well, it's not like they were horrible goals. So that's really important. And then I think the third story for this is that Savoie played really well. Mm-hmm. And that we're continuing to see him emerge, that he played on the top line, that Knobloch kept with that line for most of the game. He didn't revert back to something else or sort of panic when Draisaitl went out of the game. He kept Savoie up there most of the time, and that Savoie was part of a really good penalty kill tonight, which hasn't really been a strength for the Oilers most of this season. So those are the big three storylines for me.
Hey, the bottom two lines. I know they don't play a ton, but are you liking what you're seeing when they do get out there? Especially the fourth line, it doesn't play a ton. But are you noticing some more balance, or is that maybe a far-fetched thought?
I think it's. I don't know if I don't think it'll ever be balance, especially on a team that has some of the high-end players that it does. Frederick has played his best as an Oiler since the Olympic break.
Yeah,
couple of goals, one or two fights, at least one, and trying to be aggressive. He's often one of their hits leader. What did he get up to tonight? 5. I mean, he's been 4, 5, 6 hits most games since he came back. I mean, yeah, he put them shorthanded by going after Weisblatt tonight. Knobloch also said he doesn't mind the occasional penalty like that because it shows that your team cares about each other and is willing to stand up for each other. So he's been better. You know, Szymanski will have to see as the games get more competitive and if he plays in the playoffs, but I think there's at least an intelligent player there who can move around the ice. You know, Henrique, we've talked a lot this year, and fans have too, about his limitations.
Yeah.
He doesn't make a ton of plays. I don't know if he's necessarily been a liability, though, since he's come back from injury. So that's been okay. You know, and then who else do we have in those roles? Well, Podkolzin and Kapanen move around. Roslovic and those guys move around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, decent. Like they played a pretty good game tonight. Like they didn't make a lot of huge errors. They forechecked well. You know, they stood up for each other when required. They made some good plays. So I think this was a good game. The thing that, I mean, I don't want to be a downer about it. The thing is the old QO, as I like to call it, the quality of opponent. St. Louis is not that great. Nashville is not that great. I mean, they're even more mediocre than the Oilers have been most of this season. So it's good you outplayed these two teams for the most part. I hate to do this, but I still have to go back to Dallas and other games against Dallas, Minnesota, and Colorado, where they've just been completely outclassed. Yeah. Now, maybe some of Thursday's game is goaltending. I mean, look, if Ingram plays, that might have been a 2-2 or maybe a 3-2 Dallas lead after 2 periods. So you have to remember that. But they have a lot of games left. I mean, they played Colorado once.
Yep.
So they have a lot of games left against other sort of middling, barely playoff or non-playoff teams. So this homestand, San Jose is behind them. Florida is not the Florida of the last 2 years.
That's right.
Tampa Bay, very tough on Saturday, right? So that's a big game there. You still have Anaheim, still have LA. Those games against Utah are going to be interesting. Utah's good, but it's not as if they're way ahead of the Oilers. So they're playing against a lot of teams in their own weight class. If they can win the majority of the games, they're going to make the playoffs no problem. But I think there'll still be concerns going into the postseason because of how poorly they've done against some top caliber teams. And if they lose to Tampa and if they lose to Colorado later, and maybe even if they can't beat Utah.
Utah, by the way, started today ahead of Edmonton points wise. And then the Oilers with the 2 today have 75 to Utah 74. Important note, the Kraken picked up a win. The Sharks lost. The Kraken now in wildcard 2 with 71 points. There's 66 games. The Oilers have played 68 games. And, oh, by the way, they're 2 points back of the Anaheim Ducks, who are in first in the division, and they have a game in hand on the Oilers. And the Golden Knights 1 point up on the Oilers, and they also have a game in hand. Now the Oilers and the Golden Knights also tangle next week on the 26th. And then I'm just going into April here to check the schedule. Then the Golden Knights come back here for one game on April 4th. That's a Saturday, 8 p.m. So that should be a really important matchup. Reid, I was talking about this earlier with Joaquin and Benny. There's a 1:30 start on a Saturday coming up. And then next month on the 11th, there's a 2 o'clock start on a Saturday. And that's in LA. What do you think of those games when they start that early on a Saturday?
Well, I really only consider them to be a slight anomaly when they're Edmonton home games.
There's one that is. The Anaheim one
the
is.
Anaheim one is. So, I mean, if they're playing in another market, especially in the United States, getting a matinee on a weekend, those are fairly common. I feel as if there's usually now probably a couple Saturday matinees per year. And that to me, that seemed to maybe start a couple of years into the new building, I want to think. Like I remember there was a 1:00 game against Dallas a few years ago. Yeah. It seems like there's a couple of years. I don't mind the matinees, like
Still
get in, play. Like for a guy like you hosting a post-game show, I used to do that. If it's a 1:00 game, you're done at 5.
Yeah.
If it's a 2:00 game, you're done at 6. It's the myth that the Oilers are bad in matinees. With this incarnation of the team,
yes,
the McDavid Draisaitl era, I don't know what it's updated, but they're probably above 500.
I think they're
in
decent,
matinees. I guess maybe that one against Anaheim. I mean, I don't know. They probably won't have skated the day before because they're getting back from probably from Vegas pretty late on that Thursday game. But no, I don't mind the occasional matinee. Probably, I think OEG would sooner have a night game because I think you sell more beer than pop when the game's at 8 o'clock on a Saturday as opposed to
that's a big thing.
Opposed to 1:30. But I didn't look at the full NHL schedule for that day. There's probably other Canadian teams. I mean, yesterday the Oilers were the only Canadian team that didn't play, right? So weren't there games with Canadian teams at 11, 2, 5, and 8, or was there not a 2:00 game? But didn't the Senators play at 11 Mountain Time?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably a busy day with other Canadian teams playing. I don't mind it. I don't know how the fans feel about it. I don't mind the occasional Saturday matinee though.
Okay. All right. I just thought I'd ask you. All right, Riedrich, let's take a look ahead to Tuesday against the San Jose Sharks. If you have this type of game on Tuesday against the Sharks, are we talking about a regulation win?
Well, I hope so. I mean, San Jose is dangerous. They are at the end of a long road trip. I mean, they just went Montreal, Ottawa back-to-back, and now they're flying out here for a game, and then they go home for a couple. It's a big game for San Jose. I heard you and Gage talking about it. If the Oilers win, they're 7 points up on the Sharks, but the Sharks have the games in hand, and that might make it difficult for the Sharks to pass the Oilers, but the Sharks are still right in it for a playoff spot.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean,
absolutely.
Obviously it puts the Oilers, gives them a good advantage in terms of against San Jose. Here's the thing, and this is what I'm talking about with all these kind of mediocre teams. You take out the big three in the Central, everybody's kind of mediocre. Like if you go from St. Louis even up to Anaheim, I guess like St. Louis has been doing better lately. I mean, Winnipeg's trying to make a last gasp to get into the playoffs. I mean, San Jose is good, but they're flawed like the Oilers. I mean, we talk a lot about the Oilers' defensive play, rightfully so. Well, the Oilers have allowed 3 more goals than the Sharks, and we talk a lot about Celebrini. Yeah, he's spectacular. The Oilers have outscored the Sharks by 34 goals. Edmonton is +6 differential. San Jose's -25. So it's a team you can get after. So I think if they get another good start from Ingram, I do think that they have the attack that they can maybe get 3 or 4 on the Sharks. But I think, again, and they've made some references to defending differently, maybe spending a little more time in the defensive zone, but not giving up as many grade A chances. To me, that just comes down to patience. Because I think at times this year, they've looked like a very impatient team, you guys. Oh my God, we're down a goal. Well, we better score 8 goals in the next 5 minutes. Oh my God, let's go. So if they can stay patient and not give San Jose too much, then I do think they can outscore them because San Jose gives up a lot of goals too. I just really wonder, back to the goaltending, could we see Ingram in net every game on this homestand? Could we see him the rest of the month? Is it at the point? I mean, I almost hate to say this because I don't like saying overly negative things about people. Is Jari borderline unplayable at this point?
I called it a lack of confidence in him on the pregame show, and I stand firm with that statement. And Benny just straight up said yes.
I just say he's unplayable right now. At this current form of what he's at, with his confidence this low, To me, you can't screw around and play him.
You can't trust him.
You can't. To me, it's only in back-to-backs is you give him a look. Conor Ingram has played, 32 games we talked about earlier this year? He still has some runway this season. He shouldn't be overly tired with his distribution.
No.
Right. Counting the AHL, he's played 32 games.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah. It's tough. Like watching Ingram, I don't know how our audience feels, but when I watch Ingram, I expect him to make the save.
Yep.
Even if it's difficult. And you see some shots that, some glove saves or some, wristers, and even if he just gets a piece of it, like it didn't go in, right? And those shots are finding their way in with Jari a lot of times.
Reid, Rick, always a pleasure, my friend. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in studio.
Well, you're going to. Thank you,
Damn
Tom.
right
Thank
I
you,
am.
man.
You're damn right I am. There you go. There's Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialist. Check them out. ewell.ca, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. All right, Ben Thomson, we've got a few more minutes left. If anybody wants to slide in a text, you can do so, 780-218-9999. Hop on the chat. I'm looking over at the chat. Jeff asking about Cass. Cass has moved on to a new role that is Oilers adjacent. If you didn't catch that, he had his last show just over a week ago. All right, Benny Thomson, go ahead.
I want to highlight this guy because I feel like I have every post-game show, but every game, man, I appreciate this guy more and more. Jason Dickinson. The guy, this isn't my player of the game, by the way. He's already gotten it twice, technically, since he's been an Oiler. To me, he's so sound, and it seems like he's just in the right areas every time. I jotted down like 3 or 4 times today where I'm like, oh, Dickinson breaks up a play that could have led to something more, right? I understand Stan Bowman paid a hefty price for him, but I'm starting to see why that is. He's been incredible, honestly. I've been sitting here going like, I'm trying to think of the last time I've been this impressed with a third line center on the Oilers, and it's been a while. If we're not including Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as a third line center, but I've just been really impressed with Dickinson, and same thing for Murphy as well. Thank you, Nasty Chad. That the two guys. Obviously we've seen Doc go down, unfortunately, but though the two guys have come in and they've been really good. I've been really surprised. Yes, I said it right off the top. With those trades, were they the sexy trades? No. But they were what they needed. And they've come in and I feel like they've done exactly that. So, it is what it is. It's been a great trade so far. We'll see. Obviously, you always got to make playoffs, and you got to see how they do in a playoff run and all that. But at the end of the day, man, this has been so far. We're a little over a week in, and I've been really impressed with number 5 and 16, and I hope it continues with them.
Well said, Benny Thomson. Well said.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to go into the chat and the inbox. Stupid Peter chiming in. Hello, Stupid Peter. Says, hey, fellas, it was a good night to take my nephew to his first game. Couple things I noticed live. Connor Murphy, rock solid back there. Yep. Josh Szymanski might be a better 3C than Dickinson. The lines at the start of the game are the best for the Oil. And then Dickinson, veteran player. Szymanski, obviously just getting his feet wet at the National Hockey League level. I'm encouraged by what I see from Josh Szymanski.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I really am.
He's solid. Really, really solid. Yeah. You could tell he knows he's a rookie that has to be good in his own end. Kind of like he can't screw up in his own end. He's got to be a guy that's defense first. And I really noticed his back checking today, along with a bunch of other Oilers today. I know when the Nashville Predators kind of would get the puck in a rush, on a rush chance, and you'd see other games where it's like, Oilers players are too far back to catch up. It felt like this game they swallowed them up a lot easier, and got back checkers caught up to those Predator forwards that were on those rushes there. It felt like it was a lot more defensive sound game and more mindful of the choices they were making that were going to lead the chances the other way. So, pretty solid game for the Oilers there. All
right. We got through all the housekeeping. Player of the game, turning point of the game.
We got to do player of the game. Haven't done player of the game. All righty. I just lost my liner. Oh, here we go. Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. Damon Bunting has been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for almost 20 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home community-driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. I'm happy that some people have highlighted this in the Nasty Chat and in the text line because I was, not like I don't trust my own opinion, but it's good to see that some people are seeing the same thing I am. I'm going to give it to a guy that maybe his bar has been dropped this year because of his play, but today I noticed him, man. I noticed him really good defensively. Jake Wallman. He had a couple big shot blocks I noticed on the PK. He helped out with that with going 4 for 4 on the PK tonight. I noticed Chris Knobloch threw him out there when Nashville had an empty net, which if you compare that to, I think it was the St. Louis game, literally last game, Knobloch wasn't willing to throw him out there for overtime, which he usually is. They usually throw him in there as an overtime defenseman, and they were throwing Darnell Nurse out there instead. So, and then obviously that huge hit he had on Weisblatt. The Oilers have been going after Weisblatt all game, and rightfully so. Took a run at Draisaitl, and it's nice when you can just see, I see Wallman lay out a guy. I'm like, oh boy, he did that out of spite for what happened in Leon. I wonder if it was Weisblatt. Sure enough, they show the replay. It's him. I'm like, wow, perfect guy too. I thought he had a really good game for a guy that has struggled a lot this year. Today was a positive sign for him. Let's hope he continues this.
Nicely done. Jake Wallman, good to see. I'll reiterate what Benny just outlined, and he gets the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. All right, we're going to end the show on a high note. Big shout out to, again, everybody that came out Friday night at the watch party at Ice House, and it was also the silent auction and the fundraiser for the Heavy Hockey Showdown. And then yesterday was the game. Team Heavy Hockey won in dramatic fashion, unfortunately. But the big thing was that Heavy Hockey and SACE, along with us here at EST, raised a bunch of money, and it's all going to SACE, the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. El Presidente texting in says, I was hanging out with Heavy Hockey crew at game tonight and saw some of the EST group after the game from the suite. Shout out to all the people playing in it. Got wheels in the vehicle. Nicely done, El Presidente. A big shout out to everyone. Thank you to all the volunteers, the organizers, everybody who donated, and very important cause. And that was a big fundraiser for them. So awesome. We're going to end it on that note. Yeah. And Benny Thompson with the slick mitts too.
Wasn't enough. Still lost.
Almost.
A heartbreaker at the game, but obviously great cause, and it was a ton of fun doing it, and had a blast.
All right, this was a ton of fun tonight. The Oilers 3-1 winners over the Nashville Predators. They will now set their sights on the San Jose Sharks on Tuesday, looking for another victory as the playoff race continues down the stretch drive. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. For Benny Thompson, Reid Wilkins, and Joaquin Gage, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. We will see you tomorrow. Dusty, Eric, YouTube Trev, and the boys get going at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show. Have a good night.